Let's go!
I think Coach White and our defense is the hardest defense I'll see all year.
Alabama fans, are you scared of Thomas Castellanos? Are you freaking kidding me? All the trash talk from a guy who flat out quit his team. One of the most selfish decisions I have ever seen a quarterback make. Right when he gets benched, he says, hey, I'm bigger than the team. My needs are more important than any of yours. But all of that is to the side because he is now Florida State's starter. Are you going to be ready for it? So this was more so really good play design if anything else, and that's the thing that should concern you if you are an Auburn Tiger, or I say an Auburn Tiger, an Alabama Crimson Tide fan, because, well, you know that Gus Malzahn could scheme things up with a rushing quarterback with a scary throwing profile, right? Castellanos is not a great thrower, but any quarterback is completing this pass. It's a really good design on 4th and 1. So Castellanos is not an anticipatory thrower, and if you were to look at this, it looks as if this is really good quarterbacking on this 4th and goal. Well, once again, every single quarterback is making this throw. The wide receiver does a really good job drawing the outside corner, and that obviously is going to open up the flat being run right behind it. And this is honestly not the worst quarterbacking, but you see he's waiting for it to just be wide open before he's actually throwing this football. So as long as you don't leave dudes, and this is a big thing if you're, once again, an Alabama fan watching this, Castellanos as a runner. Now, the funny thing about it is when you actually hear people talk about him as someone who can make plays with his legs, you would have never have thunk that he ran for only 194 yards on 90-ish carries. Now, obviously, sack yardage is mixed into that, but this is something he can do, and obviously, he's going to protect himself and slide instead of actually go for the touchdown. That's an okay decision in the spot, if we're being honest. And then one thing that's going to be very big, it's the zone read game, and you can see Castellanos decides to hand this football off. It might have been a handoff the entire way. We will never know. And it is indeed a touchdown. And here we are once again, this Louisville defense that had its issues. It's pretty much the same thing on the 4th down play. You have a rail. Normally, it's mesh rail being run in this spot. But this time, it looks as if this is just a running back rail route. There is no mesh. And there is a lot of traffic. And once again, a running back is wide the frick open out of the backfield. And, man, this is insane, right? He could have gone down to that Jimmy John's on the main strip in Tuscaloosa. What's the name of that street? Again, I've eaten at that Jimmy John's before. Is that Jimmy John's still there? That's actually the big question that I want answered. But you could see, just don't give Castellanos wide open guys to throw the football to. And what do you know? Louisville continues to give number one wide open guys to throw the football to. Now, let's give the play design a lot of credit. Remember, it was a little zone read handoff-ish for a tutty last time. This time you're leaking the tight end over the middle. Miami feasted on this play last year, and once again, wide open touchdown for Tommy football. Alrighty. This is a problem, okay? It's the Kyler Murray issue without, like, him being good. So left tackle is getting beat. It's obviously not great. He's rushing to the inside on, actually it's a twist technique at the bottom. The DT's going to the outside. So this is a tough play by the tackle. But all things considered, it's not the worst, right? This is honestly pretty simple stuff. This time you actually do get a mesh over the middle, and the receiver feels this out really well. So he stops versus zone, which is what you're supposed to do, and gives him an easy throw, right? This honestly shouldn't be that hard. It should go bang to bang, but once again, I don't know how exactly it's taught. So you start off looking to the right, seeing if anything's going to be open. Then you go to here, and then you go to here, okay? This really is not hard, but obviously there's some pressure. Castellanos is not a quarterback that is comfortable in a spot like this. And, well, he gets sacked, okay? pretty crazy stuff, all things considered. You could see it from this angle, right? It's not easy playing quarterback when you're this short, all right? Now, all quarterbacks, no matter how tall you are, it is still tough to see over linemen. But look at it just from this periphery, right? You go from here, and then you got to get it to here through all these big bodies. It is more difficult. All right, so let's talk about Castellanos and what was a brutal end to this game. So you start off here, you're down by 4, and it does take forever for him to get to this little stop. Pretty much every team in the SEC runs this play. So it's pretty clear you're in the hurry up. Okay, so we get to the 2nd and 6, and once again, he is not a quarterback that wants to win from the pocket, okay? So, yes, there is some pressure. He steps up into it, and this dig right here is open. Now, once again, there is a safety right here, but it still could be fit in to this, and, well, he runs into a sack, which is not what we want to do in this spot because the clock is going to continue to run. Let's move ahead to this 1st and 10, and obviously you still have time to just throw things short and play quick. You still do have one timeout left, and you can see that the DB here falls down, and the running back leaking out of the backfield is open into the flats and going towards the sidelines. But he felt some pressure to the inside. He wants to extend into all this space, which is also okay, and he ends up running out of bounds, right, after a 7-yard gain. So it's not the worst. It would have been probably 7 or so yards to the top of the screen, but, you know, it does take off more time in the spot. So it's kind of tough for me to see from this angle. He does try to go for the whole shebang in this spot, but this is once again, and I know it's 2 minutes, so it's a little bit different. You just want to make him have to make semi-difficult throws. So he hopefully just throws this football up into the air. You could see that there was an open dig over the middle that would have put them even closer. But obviously, he throws this football up, and lucky enough for him, it's not intercepted. Alrighty, so Alabama fans, you should feel pretty good about this first game. I just don't think he's good. I really, really, really don't. I think people have kind of overrated him as a runner. I do think, obviously, the national narrative about him being in a better offense with Gus instead of Bill O'Brien's heavy pro-style pocket style. I do agree that this system is going to be better. But on a Hail Mary, he throws this out of the back of the end zone, doesn't even give his guys a chance to make a play on it. And Louisville makes the amazing comeback victory. So comment below, Alabama fans. Do you think you guys not only win, but cover? Will it even be close? I don't think so. I feel pretty good about Alabama taking care of business. So you guys let me know. Yes! Power Hour SEC. Boom! Tonight, we're doing meatball.